Hello guys, welcome to my channel Tech with Kazim. Today we're going to look at how to install and configure Snort in Ubuntu. So after we configure Snort, we're going to test it and use it to capture some ICMP traffic, and we'll also try and capture SSH traffic and see how we can write these rules and make Snort to be able to monitor and capture this traffic. So Snort is an intrusion detection system that you can use to monitor traffic for malicious, to check if there's any malicious activity going on in the traffic. So before we go on, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. So I have a Windows PC. I have Oracle VirtualBox running on this Windows PC, and I'm currently running the Ubuntu 22.04 here, which is what we're going to use for this demonstration. So but before we go on, I need to configure the Ubuntu 20.04. So I need to stop the machine right now so that I'll be able to do that. So I'm going to shut it down from here. Alright, so I'm currently running the Oracle VirtualBox, so I will be using this Ubuntu 22.04 here. So before we go on, I need to configure some adapter settings and the network. So I'll come down to network here. So I'll make sure that adapter 1 is enabled, and I want to make it, because we have a lot of network here. You have the NAT, bridge adapter, internet network, host only, the NAT network. So I'm going to choose host only adapter here. So with the host only adapter, it is an internal network that allow communication between the virtual machine and the host machine. So I'm going to click on the advanced here, and in the promiscuous mode, I'm going to say allow all to be able to allow promiscuous mode. So and we're supposed to and also you can note the MAC address of this adapter 1 because we're going to use it. So when I'm done here, I'm going to press on OK. Alright, sorry, not done yet. So we need to configure for adapter 2 as well. Go back to network. Adapter 1 is configured. Promiscuous mode allow yes. Then adapter 2, enable adapter 2. Yeah, it should be attached to a bridge adapter. So a bridge adapter actually connects the virtual machine to the external network, just like the way a physical machine does. So also we're going to allow promiscuous mode on it as well, and also note the MAC address for this one as well. So I'm going to click on the OK for this one as well. So now that we're set, so I'm going to launch the virtual machine now. So now I'll try and sign in into the Ubuntu virtual machine. Alright, so I have my Ubuntu virtual machine now up and running. So the first thing I want to do is to actually check the IP address and the network interface. So I'm going to launch terminal. Let's launch terminal here. So I'm going to type IP ADDR. Alright, so I can see that I'm currently running this terminal now. So if you see, look at this network interface, the EMPOS3, and look at this MAC address that we noted earlier. So let's just confirm that. If I go to the settings for it, and we go to the network, advanced, you can see the network of the MAC address 0800 27 648. Alright, you can see it is 0027 64 2A70. So meaning this is the network interface we're going to be using. It has the IP address 192.168.56 range, and yeah, because if you also check you can see the range the IP address we'll be using with the subnet. So this is a network interface we're going to configure Snort to listen on. So very important to take note of it with this MAC address now. So that is the network interface for the host level adapter that we're going to be using. Or better say we can use the bridge adapter that has this MAC address. If I go to adapter 2, you can see the MAC address now AD04, and that is it, the AD04, this MAC address here. Yeah, so we were going to use this one, AMPOS 8 interface, because it is a bridge adapter, and we're going to try and use that. So I'm going to OK this, and I'll minimize this. All right, so now I'm going to open another terminal here. Let me open a new terminal window. All right, I can just maximize this as well, so I can just come here and open a new terminal. Now the first thing we need to do is to install Snort on this machine, and you can install Snort. So if you go to snort.org, you're going to see the documentations and the, so if you go to snort.org, you're going to see the documentations and the instructions there. Snort.org. So now you will see the rules. You can download the rules, the documents. So there are downloads. So if we go to Snort here, so you can see Snort, the README section, so you can be able to see the latest version of Snort that you can install. So right now, so you're going to install Snort now. The first thing we need to do, so I'm going to type sudo apt-get install Snort. So before we run this, we need to note the network interface that we want to use. So we're going to use this network interface AMPOS 8, and this IP address range 192.168.0 range. So you hit enter here. So you're going to ask for the password. All right, so I'm going to say yes to this. So now, and it's going to give you the, so you have to know the IP address range. So it's 192.168.0.0, but so you have to replace, because you already did this 0 range, so you have to replace this 151 by 0, and it is it has a subnet mask of 24. So I'm going to change this to 24 here. So I'm going to just say 24. So I'm just type it right, 192.168.0.0/24. All right, so enter. So now the installation of Snort is complete. Now we have Snort. So if you just clear the screen, all right. So now that we have Snort installed, you can check the version by typing snort -- version, and we have the version of the Snort installed this way. So you can just, let me clear the screen now. So you can just navigate. So Snort is stored in etc, the etc and Snort directory, so we can navigate into that directory to see what we have there. So if I type ls now to view, so you see we have this rules folder where we're going to be writing custom rules, and where we have some community rules as well. Yeah, we have this snort.conf. This is one of the most important files in Snort. So this is where the configuration of Snort will take place. So now, but before we do that, I would like to back up this file, because usually at times you might make some configurations and you actually don't need that again, you want to revert back to the default or conf file, and you've already altered some things. So is a nice idea to back it up. So I'm going to use sudo to try and copy it, sudo, then the name of it is snort.conf, and I'm going to copy it into another a backup. So I'm going to snort.conf.backup. I'm going to call it backup. So now we have it back. So if I type ls again now, so I have the snort.conf.backup, the backup there now. So I can work with this backup instead, and I can work with this snort.conf and alter anything I want. But if I need the default snort.conf file again, I can always revert back to it with this. So now that we've backed up, so let's view. So the next thing we need to do. So the next thing we need to do is to view the content of it. So I'm going to use. Let me clear the screen. All right. So I'm going to view the conf file sudo nano. I'm going to open it with nano. You can open it with any editor you like. So I'm going to open this snort.conf. All right, so these are the snort.conf. Let me just maximize it. These are the snort.conf look like. So there are a lot of rules and these configurations that we can. This is what we'll be doing the configuration for Snort. But the first thing and most important is the IPv4 homenet. We have to set our homenet network. So we have to give that IP range of the network interface we want Snort to listen on, which is this 192.168.0.0. You have to replace this with 0 so that you'll be able to work with the range /24. So that's what we're going to use there, the 192.168.0.0/24. That's the home network we want to use for Snort. Then the external network can be any network. You can leave it as any network for the external network. So when you scroll down, so we have a lot of configurations that you can set: the port bar, HTTP ports, FTP, SSH ports, and the likes, and the rules. And here I'm going to show you the rules. So here is rules, the path of the rules that Snort is going to be to use. And also, if whenever we want to write our custom rules, so we're going to use this path here. Let's scroll down to custom rules. All right, so scroll down to custom rules now. All right, so here is the custom local.rules that we're going to use to write our custom. But before we do that, let's test this network. Let's test this network interface and see if Snort is actually will be able to actually monitor or use that network interface, and let's see if our configuration is still okay. So I'm going to save this now. Control O, enter to save it. Control X to exit. So now we're going to test the Snort configuration now. So to test it, so you can just give the command sudo snort. All right, let me clear this first. So I'm going to use sudo snort. -t is to test the configuration. Then we have to supply the interface with -i. You will supply the interface. It is EMP. So we are testing Snort on this interface that we configure it with the EMP-OS 8. So that's what we're going to use. So EMP0S8. Make sure you type in the correct interface that you give the IP range for. Then we're going to specify the path to. So if you see, we allow us to specify the path to the Snort configuration file. So let's see snort.conf. Now the configuration file, snort.conf. Then that's all. Now with this, we'll be able to test if Snort is actually we'll be able to validate our configuration. So I'm going to press enter. So it's going to run, and you can see Snort successfully validated the configuration. So with this now, we're good to actually use Snort. So I'm going to clear this now. Now, another thing we need to see is to see the rules folder for Snort on Traffic. So let's add some rules. So the rules are, if you press ls here, we have rules. We have this rules folder here. So we can navigate into the rules folder, rules, ls. So I have a lot of these rules, these community rules, but the one we're going to use for the custom rules is this local.rules file. So I'm going to clear this screen. So we're going to open it. You can open it with nano or your favorite editor. So sudo nano local.rules. So now we have this rules folder is actually empty. So this is where we're going to be writing custom rules for our Snort. But before I do this, I would like, you can actually, before I do this, okay, just save it now, exit. So before I do this now, we can, okay, let me go back to, all right, the configuration file now. Opening the configuration file now. All right, trying to open the configuration file now. There it is. All right, so all right, sudo nano. All right, so to make Snort listen only to the custom rules, so we're going to remove all the rules from here. So we don't need to worry about removing them because we've already backed up this file. So from here, we're going to remove the rules from. All right, we don't need to worry about these ones. Okay, so we're going to remove it from here, and they are gone. So I'm going to save it now. Control O, enter, then X to exit. Now I'm going to run to test the configuration again. Anytime you make changes to the configuration file or you had some custom rules, make sure you test the configuration to see if everything is working fine. All right, you can see that. So I don't have extra anything or running. You see, no rules is tested or anything. So Snort is now ready to use our custom rules. All right, so if you look at the directory of this, we have this root folder here. So if you navigate to the root, cd rules, ls to view its content. So we're going to add our custom rules to this local.rules. So clear the screen now. So sudo nano, you can open it with any favorite editor of your choice, local.rules. So what we'll have it now, so here we can add any rules to it. So now once we capture ICMP, so you're going to write alert ICMP any. So this means that Snort should alert if it detects any ICMP from this first any from any network, and this second one from any network, then from any port. So, and what should happen? So, and how should Snort actually capture that? So what Snort should do is what we want to say. So it's from home network. It should listen to it. So now you're making Snort to listen to it from the home network on any port, home network on any port, and now you can specify the message. Once Snort detects any ICMP traffic, the message you want it to. This message should be, so you have it like this, then you can say ICMP detected. You can say ICMP detected. All right, so now you can also add signature ID to it. Signature ID is a unique identifier in case you have lots of rules, so you want to give a particular capture is unique ID. So, and you can actually use this range 100,001. So the next rule you want to add should be 100,002 and 3 and so on and so forth. Another thing you can do is add revision. So maybe you want to add the revision to it. Then you close the rule. So we have this rule, this custom rule that is going to monitor the ICMP traffic. So you're going to Control O, enter to save it, then Control X to exit this nano. So now what I'm going to do now is, so don't forget, anytime you updated the configuration file for Snort or you add some custom rules, so make sure you test the configuration again to see if there are, if everything is still working fine. And we see that everything is still fine. Snort successfully validated the configuration. So I'm going to clear this now. All right. So now, so I'll need to be able to ping the IP address for this is 192.168.0.151. So I'm going to use the CMD on the window command. You can use any other tool as well to ping it. And since I'm on a bridge network, so I can just ping it. All right, so before this now, I need to, so this is the rule we're going to use to run Snort. So sudo snort a, now this is with root access to run Snort. -a meaning it should log the output in console. -q, Snort should run in quiet mode, meaning it should only give us output only when it detects something, not to exactly. It should only give us the output when it detects something. Then interface -I will allow to specify the interface name. In this case, we're going to be using the EMP OS8 as our interface. Then we will now specify -c to specify the direction of the configuration, the Snort configuration file. Then -k is to make Snort to the type of format, the output format we want to be in ASCII. That's what this -k ASCII means. It should give us the output format in ASCII characters. So now let's run Snort now. So we're going to use sudo snort. All right, let me enlarge this now so that you can see. Sudo snort. Then we want to specify the interface, which is EMP0S8. Now we use. Then the next thing we want to okay, but before the interface, let's give it, according to what is here, to log it in the console. So -a console and make it run in quiet mode. -a. Okay. -a console, and let it run in quiet mode. Then the interface is this, and after the interface, then we want to specify the location of the Snort configuration file, which is -c, which is now -c is in, let's see, snort.conf. Then the output format -k ASCII. So now I'm going to place this side by side with the CMD on the Windows and the IP address. So we want to ping it. So when you give a ping command, it's used to test connectivity, and it will send ICMP packets to the intended host. And in this case, it is 192.168.0.151, 192.168.0.151. Is that correct? Yes, 192.168.0.151. So I will not press enter here first. So I'm going to, on this Snort rule here, so I'll press enter here, and you will see Snort is running in quiet mode. It's not, so this blinking console indicates that it's running quiet mode. It will only output something when it detected any, according to the rule we've had. So I'm going to press enter on this window command there. 151. So I'm going to press enter on the window command. You can see as soon as I'm pinging it here, ICMP packet is being detected. So you can see as soon as I'm pinging it here, ICMP packet is being detected, and Snort is able to capture this traffic, and we have the what we wrote in the rule area, ICMP detected, is being displayed here in the output. So Ctrl+C to Snort to stop it. So I'm going to clear this screen. So one more thing now, the last thing we want to check for is to make Snort to capture SSH traffic. The secure shell network traffic is actually on port 22. So we're going to use the Snort sudo nano local.rules. Open the local.rules file, and I want to add some SSH traffic as well. So you're going to write alert. This is a TCP now from any network on any port, directed to the, or can you say directed to, can you say when it's directed to any network? Yeah, any network, but on port 443. Then it should give the message SSH detected. We have to give it a signature ID too. And this time around we'll give it 100,002. Then you can give it rev1 as well. So Ctrl O, enter to save, Ctrl X. Then don't forget we have to test the Snort configuration with this testing. And we can see that we have an error there. So that's why it's actually a good idea to actually test. So we have an illegal direction identifier there, so we're going to check the rules. Okay, so where's the error now coming from? All right, so this is where the error is now coming from. Yeah, it's supposed to be hyphen, not dot. It's supposed to be the greater than symbol. So Ctrl O, enter, X to exit. Let me clear this now, so we can test the Snort again. Test Snort. Okay, now Snort successfully validated the configuration. Now we are ready to run it and capture some SSH traffic. So again, we're going to give the command, this command, to output it in the log. Now you can actually use, don't worry if you don't have any SSH tool to ping, but any SSH, whether successful or not, will be captured. As I can give the SSH command, SSH, the IP address 192.168.0.151. So now once you press enter there and you run Snort, now is asking for the password. All right, so Snort is listening. Then when we press enter here now, all right. So you can see once we ping the SSH, whether successful or not, though the connection was refused, but Snort was still able to detect an SSH attempt. So this is how you can install Snort and add your own custom rules to actually monitor traffic for malicious. You study the traffic coming and out of your network. Snort is an important intrusion detection systems that we can use. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.